This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 29th day of October in the year 2018. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana Elections Commission has indicated that its preparations for local government elections are well in advance, and the Commission will deliver efficient elections. There are 80 local government areas in Guyana. For local government elections day, November 12, there will be 1,674 polling stations. Some of the polling stations will be stationed at private residences owing to the unavailability of government buildings in those areas. The Chief Elections Officer said today that he believes the results for the various local government election areas will all be available by November 13, which would be the day after the elections are held.
I envisage, like you, that results will be declared in each of these 80 local authority areas as early as practicable. The largest municipality we have to cover remains Georgetown. There are others where, for an LA, we merely have 6 polling stations. All things being equal, I don't envisage that is going to take an inordinately long time to be counted, and the councillors identified through the force past the post mechanism or through the PR, because primarily through numbers would be an easy arithmetic arrangement to bring closure to. So I do not anticipate the declaration or the issuance of certificates to councillors who would have been elected. It's going to be there will be any cause for any delay in that deliverable.
At his press conference today, the Chief Elections Officer also announced that the ballots have already arrived in Guyana, and those to be used for discipline services voting have already been extracted.
Since the ballots arrived, we have had the opportunity to extract, meaning extract ballots for the discipline services ranks who are required by law to vote on the 2nd of November. What it entails for each rank provided to GCOM by the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Defense Force, and the Prison Service. Wherever they reside locally, we had to go to the constituency ballots and extract same, envelope same, in preparation for discipline services balloting scheduled for the 2nd.
Meanwhile, the Chief Elections Officer also announced today that a number of organizations have been approved observer status for the elections. The Private Sector Commission, the Guyana Public Service Union, and some of the foreign embassies in Guyana are among those approved. More news coming up in a moment.
This Christmas, get a loan for your dream car with an extended repayment term. Spruce up your home with that renovation you always wanted and take advantage of low or no down payment. Get new appliances so you can cook up a storm. You'll get same-day approval. Plus, you can win a getaway to a destination of your choice. Visit RepublicGuyana.com today to find out how.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Get ready to ride it, ready to ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride the wave. Open up the new vibe, drink up the boldness inside. Radical and fresh and wild, catch the wave now. Ride bold, ride fresh, ride strong, come on, ride the wave. Taste the action, satisfaction, perfection. Wave it, wave it, wave it, wave.
Ride the new wave of excitement sweeping Guyana. Wave Pale Ale, a premium, full-bodied, strong and refreshing alcoholic brew, crafted to perfection for a bold, young, radical you. Don't settle for anything less. Catch a Wave Pale Ale and ride it today.
Wave Pale Ale.
crafted to perfection.
Welcome back. 1 week after President David Granger traveled to Trinidad and Tobago for a private visit, which included a medical checkup according to sources, the Ministry of the Presidency has announced that he is now heading to Cuba for the next 2 weeks, and he will be accompanied by his wife. In a statement today, the Ministry of the Presidency said the President is expected to return to Guyana on November 11. The President's sudden trip to Cuba, which has been described as a private visit, comes in the middle of the local government elections campaign. He has been traveling across the country hosting community meetings to get out the vote. Just last Thursday, the President was in Mahdia for the official ceremony recognizing Mahdia as a new town. His trip to that community came just days after he returned from Trinidad and Tobago, where news source understands he met with his private doctor. Earlier this year, the President also visited Trinidad and Tobago for a planned medical checkup. Contacted this afternoon, the President's office would only say that the visit is a private one. Let's tell you now that Town Clerk Royston King turned up this morning at the Commission of Inquiry but did not take the stand as his attorney objected to the legality and validity of the Commission of Inquiry, which is looking at the operations and management of the Georgetown City Council. Over the past few weeks, a number of serious allegations have been made against the town clerk by different witnesses during the public hearings. This morning, Mr. King's lawyer Maxwell Edwards said in his opinion, the Commission of Inquiry, which was set up by the Local Government Commission, is not a valid one.
Section 41 reads, for the purposes of the exercise and discharge of the functions under this Act, the Commission shall have power to initiate and conduct investigations into the activities of any local government body or organ, including power regarding staff referred to in Section 31. So Section 2 says, for the purposes of dealing with any matter before it, and I would emphasize the word it, the Commission shall have the powers to examine witnesses and all the privileges and immunities as vested in a commission appointed under the Commission of Inquiry. The simple and straightforward question, sir, is this commission the local government commission? The simple answer is no. So this commission could not be the commission contemplated by Section 14.
The attorney said the laws do not permit the local government commission to set up a commission of inquiry, but rather for it to investigate complaints on its own. Earlier, the attorney also raised an issue about the fairness of the commission on behalf of the town clerk. He said based on the commission's treatment of the mayor on Friday, he does not believe the town clerk will be accorded a fair hearing. Last Friday, Mayor Patricia Chase Green was chastised by the Commission's chairman, retired Chancellor Justice Cecil Kennard, when she responded to a question from the Commission's attorney by asking a question of her own. The Commission's chairman told her that she was being rude and that she should shut up and listen. He later said he would not offer any apology for that statement. By late this afternoon, the Commission's chairman ruled that the Commission was properly set up, and therefore the town clerk will have to appear and face questioning. Town Clerk Royston King is expected back at the Commission on Wednesday. A 28-year-old motorcyclist died yesterday after losing control of his motorcycle and slamming into a pedestrian before hitting a utility pole. Motorcyclist Natram Sankar of Agricola on the east bank of the Demerara was part of a group of motorcyclists riding along the Queenstown Public Road in Essequibo yesterday afternoon when tragedy struck. A police report explained that while Sankar was proceeding along the roadway at a fast rate, he ended up on the parapet and slammed into a pedestrian before coming to a stop when he collided with a utility pole. Both the motorcyclist and the 56-year-old pedestrian were taken to the Surrey hospital. The injured woman was admitted with a fractured hip, while doctors pronounced the motorcyclist dead on arrival. Friends of the motorcyclist said he was in good spirits moments before the crash and was even involved in a game of pools at the pool hall. Eyewitnesses said the accident happened very quickly. An investigation has been launched. The Guyana Police Force continued its Operation Restore Order over the weekend, this time targeting the communities of Caneville and Diamond on the east bank of the Demerara and Lagrange and Westminster on the west bank. At the end of the early Sunday morning operation, 31 persons were arrested, including 3 women, and a number of suspected stolen and illegal items were recovered. According to the police, they were able to seize several cell phones, video cameras, car mirrors, a DVR system, a music box, flat-screen TV sets, and other items. Cops also found a quantity of marijuana during a simultaneous exercise. Those arrested will face more questioning today before charges are laid. The police force explained that 90 police ranks were involved in the pre-dawn operation. Similar operations were recently held in the Agricola and Sophia areas. During those operations, items that were suspected to have been stolen were also recovered and several persons charged. Guyanese hotel owner and businessman Sherrington Lovell, also known as Big Head, has decided to waive his rights in Jamaica and allow his extradition to the United States to face drug trafficking and money laundering charges. That's according to law enforcement. Lovell was arrested just after arriving in Jamaica from Guyana last week as part of a major drug trafficking probe that involved Guyana, Jamaica, Suriname, the United States, and the Netherlands. 2 other men, a Venezuelan and a Surinamese national, were also arrested. They were in his company. By Friday afternoon, the Tower Suites part owner indicated to law enforcement in Jamaica that he would not be fighting his extradition from Jamaica, allowing the U.S. to save itself from a long extradition fight in the Jamaican courts. That's according to law enforcement sources in both Guyana and Jamaica. News source also understands that Guyana's Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit played a key role in the investigation, and it was part of a plan between the cooperating agencies from across the region for his arrest to take place outside of Guyana. Investigators believe that his travel to Jamaica was part of a plan to meet some key players in the drug trafficking industry linked to Colombia. The arrest, according to Kanu sources, is part of a major crackdown on suspected local drug lords.